This video is going to measure performance of string concatenation in JavaScript. So what you see here are 5 tests, each one a little bit different, and may or may be something that someone might do differently in their code. And I want to know which one is faster. So we're going to go ahead and run these tests. I'm going to pause the video and you can get to see the results. So here we are. And what we're seeing is some really fast performance out of standard string concatenation using plus equals, as well as multiple different plus equals in line seems to be the absolute fastest. But I mean, looking at the plus or minus divergence here, these are probably all under the hood and underneath the compiler are just about the same. So I wouldn't judge any of these as being very much different. It's more along the lines of whatever you feel like you want to write is still going to be pretty performant because it's all basically the same thing. Then we get into using the string concat function, and it's actually slower, strangely enough, in this test. And we also see that just as a control test, instead of doing I plus a string, empty string, I also did I and then comma string because that's also allowed in string concat. Now I'm going to go ahead and run these tests again just to be sure. So here are our results. And so what you can see here is that the standard non-shortcut plus equals type of concatenation seems to be the fastest. Now this may only be in Firefox, and it's probably a compiler optimization that's doing this. And you'll see here that string concat is the slowest. Now, why did I do these 5 tests? Well, I just wanted to see if there was any nuances between them, but the thing to consider is we're trying to actually get to a point where we're demonstrating why would a string builder be faster than, say, doing all this? Because the reason why is adding to an array as many times as you can is actually going to be faster than this because you're not actually changing the amount of memory that you need to do each time you add a string. So that test is not being shown here because it's such a different test that it would make these results look strange. So I only wanted to show strings, and then we're going to get into doing some other things later that show what the benefits of using a string builder would actually be, per se, in JavaScript. So that concludes this video. I just wanted to prove what was actually faster in the case of string concatenation. Basically, you shouldn't have to worry about it because the compiler is going to optimize for you. And if you're going to add strings together, just continue to use the standard way that you feel comfortable with. If it's plus equals, you're not going to be too much slower. If you're going to do regular equals, you're going to be fine. Apparently avoid, at least for Firefox, avoid result concat because that's not going to be faster. Again, this is with a large number of iterations. It may actually be, and this is literally 11,000 operations per second run multiple times in order to get these results. So if you're doing a smaller amount of string concatenation that may be so negligible which choice you make, it doesn't really matter. We're trying to find out which is going to be faster in the long run in concatenating really large strings together, or really a high number of strings concatenated into one. And that's where I'm going to get into in a later video, is actually how to use a string builder.